All right, what's up, guys? Belton here. About to do a little bit of a fun kind of gamble. This is sort of a small one in the grand scheme of things, but just looking for some ways to have a bit of fun here as the league comes to an end. So what we're going to be testing out today is the Divination Reforge, or the Reroll Divination card. This is one that I don't really see anyone do, and it makes sense on paper why it would be avoided, but I think it might be kind of fun here. It's this first one here, which typically in the past has always been something that I would mostly know as a cautionary tale, because I'm sure some other people have as well, but click this accidentally when you've been trying to do the double up card in the old sack harvest. So we made a set of rules here. So we're going to be re-rolling each card in the inventory, and we're going to move on to the next card each time. If we run out of feeder cards eventually, then we can start re-rolling the bad ones. I bought enough to do exactly 1,000 re-rolls. So you can see that it's a 75 life force per, so we bought 75,000 life force. And so we're going to do 1,000 only. In terms of counting value, whether or not it's profit or loss, we're going to do so at the end, because obviously if we count individual cards, that will be less than finished sets if we do get some completed sets. Now, comparing this to stacked decks, it is approximately 1.6 times the cost of stacked decks. What the thesis slash testing aspect of this is right now is whether or not the time that you save and the ease of doing this would be worth it. Because as everyone knows, doing stack decks, even when you do it most efficiently by going to the menagerie and dropping them on the ground, it hurts your wrist, it takes forever, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Now, doing this with the harvest, obviously you bypass a lot of those issues, since you can just, spam click until you get a good card. That being said, though, we paid 18.75 divines, let's just say 19 divines for the 1,000 rerolls, or 75,000 life force. Buying stack decks, this would roughly get you 1,593 stack decks instead of 1,000 here. The odds are slightly better on harvest, because since you are doing a change of cards, that means if you pick something like the wisdom scroll card, it will guarantee that it cannot change, like it can't change into the same card, right? So some of the super common cards which have higher weightings, obviously this is a very, very marginal difference, but one that's worth mentioning. As well, we're going to start a timer here to see how long it takes us to roll. Actually, I'll do it on my phone. Actually, we'll do it on the computer. Timer to see how long, or I guess a stopwatch, to see how long see how long this takes us here to roll, and then we can compare that to stack decks in the past. If it ends up saving us like an hour, right? It won't be that much, but whatever the time saved is, we can then calculate that on the basis of how much more expensive it was and figure out whether or not it is a worthwhile venture to pursue. So let me add that timer here. And yeah, so now we're going to get going here, guys. 1,000 rerolls. Starting the timer. Let's get it. All right, I know that I broke my rule right away at the beginning there by not changing the card each time. We just ran out of space. Poor inventory management. This would be significantly faster though if instead of clicking cards like this, we just spam rerolled. But that brings in the difficulty of, you know, at what point do you cut off, right? Like at a 2 chaos card, 3 chaos card, whatever. We'll try it this way now. There's our first legitimate card, the nurse. Oh shit. Sorry, I had a timer going as well. Not just stop, or sorry, a stopwatch. Let's do a inventory dump here. Oh. Maybe 1/3 of the way there. Oops. I do realize, by the way, I'm sure somebody's going to comment on this on YouTube, that I've rolled over some of them that I've stopped at before. Sometimes it's accidental, sometimes it's just because they're like a, you know, it's most likely on an individual basis worth stopping at those ones, but they're not going to be worth much. The balance, my impression so far, and obviously this is very, very limited, but just so I'm not silently rolling here the whole time. My impression so far is that this would be a much higher value thing to do early on in the league. It can be pretty binary, I imagine, as this goes on. You know, if we eventually hit one of those big ticket cards, like, you know, the doctor or apothecary or whatever, you know, hitting one of those cards can skew. Like, if you hit one, or House of Mirrors or something like that, it would pay for like 3,000 rerolls. So to actually get an accurate data set, you have to do so many of these. However, earlier on in the league, there's a bit more of a balance as well. The life force will be way cheaper, and a lot of what we're getting, roughly I would say 1 in 10 cards or so, is a something to do with a 6-link, right? And those are worth a ton of money. Well, relatively speaking, a ton of money the first few days of a league, for example. So you would have a much more consistent return. Now, obviously, the big ticket items are not going to be worth as much. You know, something like House of Mirrors is going to be worth like 1/50th of what it could be later on at this point, right? However, on the whole, regardless of what you know, the mean return is, I think your median, like your average, would be a lot better. Just in terms of consistency. Also, sorry, a lot of the unique items too are, as well as like, you know, 20 quality or 21 level gems, things like that, are quite valuable early on. That's a good one. Yeah, like the amount of 6-link cards you get, kind of crazy. 2/3 of the way through. The good thing with this too, as opposed to doing it with stacked decks, is that the vast majority of these, even though they have some value, like the ones that like, you know, give a stack of 5 or 10 chaos or whatever, those aren't going to show up on loot filters, and people probably aren't going to take the time to actually pick them up. You know, if you're doing the stacked decks, right? Especially if you're doing like thousands of them. But since this is just a matter of clicking into your currency or your stash, you know, it's very likely that those things will add up, right? The plus side, even if we don't end up making any money, which I don't, doesn't seem like we're, unless we have one of those sort of zero-sum situations where you go big or go home kind of thing. It's a good way to find out a bunch of new divination cards. Seen quite a few cards here I didn't even know existed. This has been pretty brutal, though. I've got to imagine that this was a pretty bad luck. Because I don't think we've had a single card worth more than a Divine. Like, not one card. And I'm pretty sure over 1,000, you know, over 1,000 stacked decks you'd be. Or, you know, just 1,000 rerolls in general. You know, you would be hitting more than 1 in 1,000. I'm done. Okay, that took us 30 minutes. I know for a fact we didn't make, there's no way we made money there. But let's see how we did here. Maybe we'll get lucky with the... That can be chanced or of mythic orbs. into two different ones, which is good. There's almost no card. Like the only card here that might even come close to being worth a divine is it was the nurse one. Which is this? 1.1 div. So I think that's the only card we got that's worth more than the divine. I would estimate. I'm not gonna even bother adding these up, but I would estimate we probably lost 13 or 14 divines there probably total. Maybe 12 to 14 divine loss. I really do think that this is probably going to be something that's best done early on as opposed to now. Just taking a look at the amount of 6-link cards here. 1, 2. Now I stopped at all the 6 links except for the Imperial bow just because there's too many cards there. But you can see here we got a full set of those, which was 6, 8, 9, 13, 15, 16, 21, 24, 26, 28, 29. So 29, 30. So that was over 1,000 rerolls. 1 in 33, roughly. So, you know, early on when you can get like 150 stack decks to 1, and these are, you know, I don't know why that. Yeah, I think that's definitely a lot better. As well, cards that are like cards that give level 21 gems. These are going to be much higher value early on as well. 21 spell gem, 21 23, 21 trap gem, 21 aura gem, 21 golem gem. Like those individual, turning those in probably worth a divine each or something early on. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, if you do get lucky and early on you manage to hit one of those sort of jackpot moments, getting something like you know, if we take a look here, there's probably only a few cards that are actually over divine. Yeah, look at this. There's, what's that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards. 16 cards total out of hundreds that are actually worth a divine or more. So those are the Nurse, the Cheater, Soul Taker, Mirror Shard, Strangle Grasp, the Squire, Unnatural Instinct, Headhunter, House of Mirrors, Headhunter, Mage Blood, Mirror Shards, Mage Blood, Mirror. So it's basically, it's all Mirrors, Headhunters, Mage Bloods, and then the only ones that are not related to that are the Soul Taker, Strangle Grasp, Squire, and Unnatural Instinct. Anyways, guys, we could probably extrapolate on this a little bit further, but I think you catch the point. Maybe just a little fun thing to test out there. Be making some more videos here soon. If you get bored, maybe try this out and tell me if you have any better results. You can see here, I've been min-maxing my discharge build a little bit. As well, I've started to invest into some league end stuff. I remember I did leave a poll for you guys. By the way, sorry for the people on YouTube watching this, not on Twitch, they're watching it live. For people on YouTube, if you check out the community section of my channel, I post updates there daily when I'm playing, talking about what I'm doing, and also I leave like little polls or questionnaires for you guys too, in terms of what videos you want to see and stuff you need help with. One of the things people did want was a end of league investing guide. So whether or not you're actually interested in standard, it applies both ways. Because towards the ends of the league, there's something I refer to as a as the standard price point equilibrium, which is really just a fancy way of saying that items tend to migrate towards their standard values the further into a league you go. However, you know, if you're playing throughout the course of a league for a 3-month league, you know, this will start to happen really about 6 weeks in. So even if you don't play in standard, it will start to impact different things. That's kind of what's going on in this tab here. As well, because I love discharge so much, I always try to get discharge collectibles. So, you know, the alt arts for that. And as well with the investing thing, you can see here, I actually bought all of these today. So I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, not this one. So 6 of them I bought today. So we spent 1,000 divines roughly on just original sins. So it's about 2 mirrors on original sins, and maybe half a mirror there. As well, I've been doing some stuff with helmets and double corrupting and yada yada. I'll do more videos explaining what's going on here for a little bit, but basically just trying to you know, get our feet in as many areas as we can, and figure out some stuff while the league comes to a close. And hopefully make some correct predictions. So stay tuned. I know this didn't go too well. Hopefully you guys have some better luck if you win at it, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.